you get treated in a lot of ways. So if you treat people well, they treat you well. Anyway, there you go. Thank you.
2 clap.
Jim Guerra.
Thank you, Dad.
Jacob. My name is Jim. I've had a fascinating life. If there were a mistake to make, I've made it. I dropped out of Harvard at the age of 19 and joined a cult for 10 years, trusting people instead of using my brain. I've made some investments that cost me a whole bunch of money. I waited until 2008 to invest in real estate. Lost every penny. Anyway, I bought a book called 12 Rules for Life. 12 Rules for Life, an antidote to chaos. And this is written by Jordan Peterson, who's a psychologist, Harvard, went to University of Toronto. And I really enjoyed his concept of chaos. As when God created the world, he created it out of darkness. There was chaos was on the face of the deep. The Word of God came in and order was established. He uses that in this book as to describe life, that life is lived on that line that separates chaos from order. And as we go through life, we encounter chaos, and our job is to bring order to whatever chaos we're encountering. And that's found through knowledge, it's found through experience, it's found through people you counsel with, it's found through your friends. And he goes through, here's 12 simple little rules of how to handle chaos when it does come. So I think you'll enjoy it. It's kind of a heavy book, so take your time through it. And then I had a few things that I just wrote here in the front for you. Congratulations, you're heading toward manhood. Here are some things I've learned that have helped me. Life is chaos, number one. Use it to drive you to God's word, which will bring order out of the chaos and will give you greater control of your life. Number two, love others, love others, love others. Number three, love yourself, respect yourself, be true to yourself. Number four, the Marlboro Man died of lung cancer. That's deep. Being a man is not becoming independent. It's about becoming interdependent and doing your part. Sheep are dumb but lovable. This is number 5. Always position yourself with God as a sheep, and he will be your shepherd. Number 6, you reap what you sow and how much you sow. We are the product of what we allow into our minds and out of our mouths. Number 7, never isolate yourself from good people. Number 8, grace can come through your connections with good people, death by being joined to bad influences. Number 9, never slow dance with a porcupine. And number 10, love God, love life, and be thankful. Happy birthday, Jacob.
2 clap.
Boom. My name is Greg. Interesting dynamic with the age process. So I thought I kind of want to put it off and not be the first one up here. But then when the guy comes up who said he retired yesterday, I thought I should have been before him. So that motivated me to get up a little sooner. Thanks for inviting me. It's an honor. Happy birthday. I was going through the timeline. I bought that house in Laverne across the street from you in 2003. That was 16 years ago. You were 2. I didn't remember it being that long ago. I guess like everything else, everyone else is experiencing, time flies. Can't believe I've known you that long. So I figured for the format, I would be giving you a book and then giving you some advice in addition to that. And I thought, you're not going to remember the advice. I didn't realize it was going to be videoed. So I thought, I'll give you 2 books so it'll kind of cover both. So now I have all 3. I have 2 books and additional advice. So the first book is a novel. It's Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. I read it when I was probably close to your age. It's 1,000 pages. Small print. It's kind of a slog to get through sometimes, but there's some really inspirational parts in it. At least it was for me. It changed the way that I viewed the world. It talks about basically the extraordinary power of the human mind and being an individual, using your reason, not being influenced by others, not being torn down by people that are trying to tear you down. So I found it very inspirational, and I hope you will too. And then this is kind of a hokey book, but it was significant for me, The 1 Minute Manager. When I first became a manager, it's a very simply told, easy to read, kind of silly story, but it explains how to handle people, how to manage people and keep them happy while you are also being effective. But it's not only good for work, it's good for your life, it's good for handling any people, and it's also good when you aren't a manager, to be a good employee and to be a good person relating to other people of authority in your life. So it works both ways. I found it very helpful. And then I have some separate bits of advice that I wrote down. Okay, 4 things that I'll try to wind together to kind of make sense. The first one is always be aiming for something. It doesn't necessarily mean writing down goals. Maybe you do that. I know people have told me to do that my whole life. I never really felt comfortable writing down goals. But aiming for something to me means be goal-oriented in what you do. I see it as looking at the big picture in life and see clearly how you're moving through that big picture. Not just sitting by and letting life wash over you, but deciding what you want to do and heading in that direction, aiming for that. And not necessarily just one big thing in your life, but in all small, big things, many things at a time. Just in everything you do, just have an aim, have a goal. If you do things with goals in mind, then when decisions need to be made, they're much easier to make because you're making a decision based on whether or not it brings you towards the goal that you've already decided on. And you will have hard decisions to make in your life. It also forces you to take responsibility for those decisions that you've made in your life. And taking responsibility is something that isn't talked about a lot these days. It's kind of the opposite. Responsibilities is kind of the opposite of rights. And the 12 Rules book by Jordan Peterson, I've listened to Jordan Peterson a lot, and he talks about how the last couple decades in this country especially, we've talked a lot about rights. Gay rights, minority rights, transgender rights, and rights are important and good, but the opposite side of them is responsibilities. And if you don't take responsibility for the things that those rights provide, then it's not balanced. A lot of young men don't know how to take responsibility for their actions and their words, and taking responsibility it gives you meaning in your life when you've taken responsibility for what you've done. Having meaning in your life is really important. It should be the goal in your life. Most people think that maybe happiness should be a goal, or many other things should be a goal in their life. But if meaning if you have meaning in your life, happiness will be there, sadness will be there, and you will be able to go through it and come out the other side and enjoy the happiness and endure the sadness, because you're not relying on one or the other to survive. You've got that meaning that you've provided for yourself. So aim for things, take on responsibilities, be responsible, experience the stability that meaning brings to your life, keep moving in that direction for your whole life. And when you find yourself comparing yourself to other people, don't. Only compare yourself with yourself yesterday. That way you can make sure that you're moving towards your goals and your aims that you've decided on. That was it. Happy birthday.
2 clap.
Boom. Mike, thanks for doing this. It's an honor to be here. When your dad said he'd get you a book that had an impact on your life, it cleared it up, because I was in the auto mechanics aisle for you earlier, but I'm not a mechanic, so I couldn't bring that book. I'd never read it, but I brought you a couple. I brought you a journal, so that all those books that you're going to read, you can keep your own journal, your own story to yourself on the things that you learn along the way from those books, the men around you, your friends around you. But one of the books that I read, that I've read multiple times, because you'll learn in life can take a lot of different turns, a lot of different angles, and having a guideline book to keep you on course, to pull you back to what matters. So I brought you Purpose Driven Life. It's a good book. It's been a great book in my life. My mom gave it to me a long time ago, and she gave me a couple of verses that I'd share with you along the way. She was really good at leaving verses behind that often I don't think when I got them I was ready to receive them. I'm sure you can relate. Mom and Dad probably told you some stuff that didn't make sense, or you didn't want to hear it, but later it's like, all right, I get it. Well, I'm still getting notes that my mom left me. But one of the verses that she left me that I thought is really fitting as you enter your journey of manhood is Joshua 1:9. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For your Lord God will be with you wherever you go. Remember that. The other one, and this is the epitome of tonight, Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, so does another man sharpen another man. That's kind of what this is today. So I'm super proud to be here with you. I wrote you a little note that I'll leave in your book. But Jacob, I want to wish you the best in your future. Stand strong. Stay grounded. Be yourself. Surround yourself with good men. Ask for help early and often. Get back up when you fail and go again. Life is a journey full of many moments. Some great, some not so great, some good times, some difficult times. And all of these moments will ultimately shape you, back by God's will, into the man you are meant to be. Thanks for being here.
2 clap.
Boom. Sorry, Renee.
Happy birthday, Jacob. Thanks, Mike, for including me. I had the opportunity a couple of years ago to go to the high school. Your dad stopped by and told me what he was doing in the afternoon, and that you were had a meet at Bonita, and I got to go, and I had some time to go up there. I'm sure you've seen the video. I was the fool that was screaming and hollering because I was so excited, because I saw that you knew you had the guy, you had the strength. Kind of what somebody else said, you were digging deep and you knew you could do it, and that's your character. Carry that with you through next year high school and through college, because you know what you can do and you have that mindset to win, and like they said, that there'll be opportunities where you falter, but get back up, because I saw it in you. I was excited. I don't know if you got to see the video that your mom was taking, but I didn't know you, but I was excited to see somebody that had that drive, and I was really proud of you. So The book that I got is from Andy Andrews. It's The Noticer, and it talks about perspective. It's something in my life. I retired after 30 years with the Highway Patrol. About 5 years before retirement, I got sick, and my perspective in life, I was bitter and angry, and just my career had kind of stalled. And my perspective was really messed up. And my mother-in-law, of all people, gave me this book. And it just, after getting it, I have the best mother-in-law in the world. And just reading this and seeing my perspective and taking a look at some of the things that I was struggling with weren't other people, it was me. I needed to change my perspective and how I viewed some things, and it just really helped me. The character in the story, his name's Jones, and not a first name or last name, but when you read this, I think I have an idea of who Jones is. So I'll let you make your judgment of who Jones is. But recently I have a grandson that just graduated 8th grade. I'm going to leave you with, I went to his graduation. He goes to a Christian school, and the principal left off with a statement, and I really got to thinking about it. He said, when you leave this run, and run away from sin and run to God. And I hope all you guys can. I thought it was just, I wish I would have heard that when I was graduating 8th grade or high school. I just think it's really important. And then the last thing he said was, you surround yourself with the people you surround yourself with are important. And we heard that from others tonight. But he added to it that, if you hang out with turkeys, you can't soar with the eagles. And it just kind of, I really liked that. And I thought, you got good friends, hang with good people, and you'll do well in life. And I also put my phone number in here. Feel free at any time to reach out. You need somebody that's not, your parents, or you need something, I'll be here for you. My kids are adults, and I hope that there's people out there that they would feel if they need somebody they can reach out to. So happy birthday.
2 clap.
Boom.
Well, hello. My name's Alan Lundgren. I'm Beverly's cousin, and my experience with Jacob has been that I remember him from a very young lad when he would come over to our house for Christmas, and we'd have about 40 people there, and I think most of them were children, so it was pretty loud. But I remember thinking, wow, what a great young man this is, because I just sensed that there was something special there, that I saw great things could be happening there. So anyway, I'd like to start with a little story. I think I'll sit down now. Has to do with a father and a son. The father had a car dealership, and the son and the father were walking across the lot, and the son noticed a car, which this is very appropriate because you love cars so much. But he said, "Dad, this car is so cool. This is the car I want when I get my license." And the dad looked at him with a big smile and said, "Well, we'll see." So his 16th birthday rolls around, and he's like, "Okay, this is it. I'm going to get this car. This is going to be so cool." But no car, no keys. So he's like, well, kind of bummed and thinking, well, all right, probably next year. So 17 comes around, his next birthday, and no keys. So now he's getting kind of a little ticked off. It's like, well, why do I not have this car? I told him I wanted it. And, well, you know what? Next year's 18. That's probably when he's going to give it to me. So next year comes around, 18, and he doesn't get the car keys, but he gets a present. It's a Bible. And the son's pretty ticked off. He's angry. He's like, that's it. I'm done here. I'm going to move out. I'm going to go find my own job and buy my own car. So he takes off and moves to a city, kind of trying to get away from his dad. And he's like, well, I kind of know the car business, so I'm gonna go find a job at a dealership. So he goes to the dealership and interviews with the manager, and the manager says, all right, well, let me think about it, and I'll let you know. So he goes home, and turns out the manager calls his dad and says, hey, your son's here looking for a job. What do I do? And he said, well, give him a job, let him start at the bottom, let him work his way up. So he works, and years go by, and he's moving his way up there, and all of a sudden this person shows up and says, hey, I work with your dad, he's dying, you need to come see him. So he, I don't want to see that guy, he doesn't really care about me. But anyway, after a while, he convinces him, hey, all right, I'll go see my dad. He goes to see his dad, and on the way there, the dad passes away. And so he was pretty devastated. He's sitting in his dad's office there at the house, and he sees the Bible that his dad had given him, and he starts thumbing through it. And all of a sudden, the keys to the car that he had said he wanted fell out of the Bible. His dad had put them in the middle of it. And, well, that's kind of a depressing story. Sorry for that part. But it does illustrate a lot of times that the keys that we're looking for in our life are actually right in front of us. And that we need to look and be patient and listen to wisdom and find sometimes that when it's time, it will appear. So with that, I want to give you this book that probably is a little different than most of the books out there. It's the Climber Honda TRX 250R Fortrex repair manual. So I want to give that to you. And in light of the story I just told you, I want you to kind of maybe look inside the book and see if you find anything in there. Maybe on page 150, just because it's kind of dark. There's a key there, and that belongs to the quad that's parked out in front of the house in the back of my truck. And that quad used to be owned by your grandfather that you never met, Gordy Lundgren, my favorite uncle in the whole world. But anyway, that used to be his. I acquired it in 2002 and have enjoyed the heck out of it. And so I'm presenting that with you because I thought, well, how cool is it that I could pass that back to you, because I think you would just be thrilled to see you have that. And I also, of course, brought some other things that I'm going to give you, but one of them is well, actually, let me tell you a little bit about Gordy. He started as a machinist. I know you may already know this, I don't know, but he started as a machinist at Hughes Aircraft and worked his way up to a senior project advisor or leader there at Hughes Aircraft. And it was because of his ability to figure things out, and actually also I believe it was his people skills and his love for people, and that actually took him, I think, farther than anything else with that. And so I see that ability in you as well. So yeah, this book is a very small book. It's called The Freedom of Self-Forgetfulness. And in today's world, we are so self-absorbed with everything. What about me? What about me? And I think, as Christ's example, who he didn't make it all about him necessarily. It was about other people. He loved everybody, and this bottom line of this book is it's let's see if I can say this right. It's a tongue twister for me, but it's not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less and thinking about others more. And I just think that is something that I see in you, and I think that this would just give you a few little nuggets to help you with that. I also wrote some things down that I'm not going to go through reading, but I'm just going to read the little part on top, because it's actually, I don't know if I can see here, but maybe with some glasses. Should have had the old guys go back when it was light enough to read. Dear Jacob, I don't get to see you often, but remember fondly the times when you and your family came to our house for Christmas. I always sensed that you were a special guy, and that had that sense that God had something special planned for your life. Seek God with all of your heart, and He will show you the way. I'm looking forward to seeing amazing things that God has in store for you as you start your journey into manhood. And of course, there's some more on there, but I'm going to end with that. So thank you. Oh, and I also wanted to say, Mike, wow, this is just so awesome. I think we can, I think I could even use this. I mean, there's no rule that says it has to be at 18, right? I mean, we can do this for men of different ages. So I'm going to try and figure out a way to implement this for my own son as well, even though he's in college. But I think he still could use that wisdom, as we all could. Okay.
2 clap.
Boom!
I'm very fortunate. I've got two of the men that have had the biggest influence in my life sitting right here on the chair next to each other, my dad and Todd Duncan. So I wanted my dad to open this up, Jacob, to be able to start the evening the right way for you. And then a mentor of mine, Todd Duncan, I'm going to have him close it out for us. And Todd's a best-selling author, and he's written a number of books. And in the mortgage business, which is my business, he's just one of the guys that's the most highly respected in the entire industry. So I thought it'd be very fitting for him to come and share some wisdom. He's been a mentor to me, and so I'd love to hear what he has to say to you. Let's have Todd come talk to us. So Todd, over to you.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it very much.
Jacob, happy birthday. So we don't know each other really well, but I'm sitting over here thinking about what your dad said when I first got here, and he said, this is going to be an evening from the heart. And I'm